Am I live? Yep, there we go. Definitely live. Hello again. Well, tonight, as you can see by the description, we're going to be doing a bit more on the Ertl Percy. Hope to get the paint job finished tonight and possibly redo the chassis. If you remember from the last stream, this is what Percy looks like now. With the wheels where they are at the minute, it looks a little bit like a toy. But I'll show you a bit better in a bit with her. But I have noticed, and part of the reason I'm going to redo the chassis, is where the springs are on Percy. The wheels don't line up. So that wheel needs to come back. This wheel needs to come forward a bit. And if you look at this side, I've already done a basic drawing. I don't know if you can see where those lines are, but that's going to be the shape of the chassis that follows. Because every chassis is not perfectly squared off. And as, yes, you get an exclusive here. As you can tell by this chassis, everywhere where there's a wheel that drops, it lowers on the chassis, raises on the frame. So, what do we need? Same as last week, same brushes, same paints. If you can label up your paintbrushes so you can remember what colour goes with which, and that way you'll never have a cross-contamination of anything. I've been in two minds whether I'm going to paint the numbers on or use these water slide transfers. Got these from eBay. Let's have a quick mooch at what I got. Never remember. Alright, yes, these were for the cardboard versions of Duck and Oliver, because it's got the Great Western roundels, or the shirt buttons, as they're called. I think I've got two different sizes of numbers here. At least two styles. Two different styles, same size numbers. So I might just end up using these. They're a lot easier. Make sure I've got the same two. In fact, I'll keep them and go for those. in the trusty little blue toolbox that I've had for years, got a load of other water slide transfers. And that's the BR roundel. And a load of these LMS numbers. And linings. So these linings are handy for doing Donald and Douglas because it's the red, white. Various other bits and pieces in there. In fact, I wonder if these would be. Yeah, I might try them, in fact, as well. They're made by SMS Model Products Limited Water Slide Transfers. Got them as a job lot quite a while ago. I think I paid £1 for a load, and a load more than what I've got left. And that is what I've got left, and hence why I'm having to buy from eBay. What do we need to do on the body today? We need to finish off the windows, light touch up with the green, light touch up with the black there as well. Make the circles perfectly circular, and then trim it in. I've been debating whether to use brass or the yellows, or one of the yellows. Two different shades of yellow there. Metallic 16 from the Humbrol range. I'll just double check what that one is. Gold. Good representation of brass. I might use the Humbrol metallic gold for the dome and the whistle. Then the darker yellow, which is again a Citadel paint. Looks like Oriole yellow, spelt with a Y. You can see that. There you go. Move the transfers out of the way. And the green. So without further ado, let's crack on. kept these from last week. Good mix. The obligatory nip toilet roll from the bathroom. Don't need as much as it's only flicking off small droplets. Same as what I did last week. Leave that in there. And mix. I have found, compared to other paints techniques that I've done in the past, the thinners actually helps. It gave it a smoother finish overall. Yeah. Right, for this one, I will use a smaller brush. The ever expanding better already. Need to touch up the black on this side. Probably not as much as it looks, because I'll be lining out the windows in the yellow later on. That's one of the better things about this paint. It dries quicker. That'll be too big. Let that dry off for a bit. When that's going off, I'll give the yellow a mix. else ever had that. You go to the pound shop or Town Bargains or wherever your particular supplier is for brushes. You go and ask. You go to the makeup section. You get the makeup brush, and everyone looks at you weird. I go there now just for giggles. Buy the makeup brushes. Buy the fake eyelashes that we know the ladies like. And when asked, they look at me confused when I say I make little tufts of grass from the eyelashes. Quite effective. Voila, the green, the green has dried. Now, if you've got a load of round objects, you can use it like a stencil. But I haven't, so I'll be putting the yellow on neat. If it does go a bit skewy, you've always got the option of your other paints, the other colours to assist. And always remember when you're modelling, it's to please your eyes and how you want it, not anyone who observes it. Everyone's going to have their comments and their thoughts and opinion. You model how you want to model. Oh, a little bit off there. They both look weird. May have to redo them. This one looks more like a... Oh! This one nice and small. Yeah, I'll come back to the front ones. Again, these ones are going to need some touch up. The final detail for these back ones. 3 lines like prison bars. Use a cocktail stick for that if you want, or your brush. That's what a lot of people don't know or forget, is that on the rear windows of a tank engine, they have these safety guards to protect the glass of the cab for when they load the coal up. I will say there's not a lot of engines that don't have them. If anyone in the chat wants to ask a question, feel free, if there's anyone there at all. If you're watching this live, or even later on as a video, jot down in the comments if you want to have another question and answer session, and if you want any more guests to join me. We had Scott dance for the first week, family emergency for the second week. And don't worry, there are more videos coming out, like the turn a Christmas tree into a tree. The trees that I'm working on at the minute to make the video will probably look more at home on an O gauge layout, but maybe a 00 layout if you wanted to get as close to scale height as possible. So, but that would be entirely up to you, what or where you use them for. I can guarantee it's a technique you've never seen before. The way that I'm doing them. Yes, it's still twisted wire. That's about the basic. That's about all the same to traditional tree making until we get to the painting and the scatters and things. And I'll be showing you how to make scatters as well for those interested. Right, so what do we want to do? The humbrol takes forever to dry, so let's do a bit of water slide transfers. shop presses. And you get warm water. Don't need a whole lot. It's just 1 week dram. And which one? Great Western version. True to Percy's original form, he's made up of Avonside and Hunslet parts. So why not throw another railway company into the mix and give him Great Western parts, albeit in the form of numbers. There's that. There's that. Get it. Roll it. You could easily use scissors. In fact, for the next number, I will use scissors to get it as close as possible. That would have been disastrous. When it comes to water slide transfers, I always try to get as close as possible to the number. They can be saved for Ron. So if anyone knows who Ron is, tell him I've got his spare numbers. Right, the way I do water slides is I get a couple of pins, or at least one pin, fairly soft paintbrush. Yeah. And a cotton bud. Piece of tissue. Piece of tissue down. Tweezers. Where are my tweezers? This is where I find to come a complete horror. The kids or the girlfriend of Nick. Oh, nope. They're there. Oh, no. You look for one, you find two. Always the way. Put the scissors back. I really need to get a bit of better lighting in here. So what I do, dip, pick up, into soak. Prep the engine. Usually I'd put masking tape around where I want the number, or just a dip of water, roughly where you want it, so you've still got a bit of time to play. Wiggly jiggly it around a minute. Select a nice clean pin. Get that ready. Once it can slide off the paper, can use several points of reference. This line here, from the cab roof down the line of the cab bunker, I'll put the number central to that. Modify the brush. Make sure there's still a bit wet. Brush down. Pin and remove. Now the water going down first should give you a bit of time to be able to maneuver the number to somewhere to where you want it. Having a bit of trouble with this one. It's wanting to twist away from where I want it. Use the pin to pin it down. Old faithful cotton bud. Absorb the water. Push down from the middle and roll the cotton bud out. Should squeeze the water. Now once I've finished all the painting and the water slide transfers and touched up here and there, I'll be using a lacquer coat to seal it all in. So for now I don't have to worry about that. So there's his first number. Crack on with side 2. Let's see if this has played a bit more ball yet. Played ball a bit earlier, this one. Oh, so much so that it's lifted up. That's alright, we can recover that with the paintbrush. And the pin. I'm happy with where that is. Push down. Using the dry end for this one. Middle, roll out. Middle, roll out. Middle, roll out. Pushing fairly firm, but not too firm that you may rip the transfer. The only thing I hate about water transfers is it's still, if you cut it out as a circle, you still have the shine of the circle. So there's Percy's second number. Quick touch up a little bit of the blacks. For this, I'll probably just use a cocktail stick. God, I've done a Tom from Model's Corner. Where have I put that? Found it. Not going to bother with a paintbrush for this. It's just a very quick touch up where I've noticed. There it needs it. Along here. And along here. Can't ever grip anything off the floor. A pair of tweezers or a pair of pliers. So now then, put the water from the clay into your paint wash water. If you're ever wondering what these little tray things are that I use, they're business card holders. There's a craft shop near me that sells these at one. I think it's 10p each, or 20 for a pound, or something like that. That's what it was when I bought them. And they had the deeper ones. Those that hold 500 or 1,000 business cards. They've got these smaller ones. Very handy. Just don't ever buy them with the girlfriend around, because she looks at you to say, and what are you going to use that for? Ever notice how you go to a certain fast food joint that everyone seems to really love? She never complains then when she wants one of them. You've got to go. All right, let's do some humble. I should have mixed these all year. The only thing I don't like about hand rolls is that they seem to be thicker and take longer than anything to mix. So for this one I'm going to be using a crappy old brush. I don't mind using. The girlfriend's going to watch this stream and go, hey, he's finally using a crap brush. Is he going to throw it out afterwards? Probably, because I never have any success cleaning them. So I should be happy I'm throwing something out. Which is probably not what she wanted. Please don't report me to the Misuse of Tools Act. No, there isn't one. I'm safe there then. Ooh. Metallic 16 gold Umbro. That reminds me. Forgot to touch up the bodywork paint. Probably won't get time to do the chassis tonight, so I might do a bit of work on that away from a live stream. Get it right. If you've got a blank piece of card, especially with the Humble, always give it a quick try to see what it's going to look like with. Here goes. Right. Stuff it. This brush. if Tom's Modelling Corner, if he's ever watching this, I think it'll be interesting to see what this would look like compared to his Thomas. See how it compares size-wise, see if it's actually as close as what I think it is. Or what a lot of people think it is. If anything, I also think that this is the first time on YouTube, I believe, that anyone has converted the Ertl to become a working model for O-Gauge at least. I remember someone put on Twitter a couple of weeks back, January I think, a picture of the two side by side, Percy and Thomas, and they went, the comment was something along the lines of, that would have been amazing if they'd have actually done it. Does anyone know if it was actually done? Because I've never been able to find one. Hours later, I find this tucked away in a box, took a picture, sent it. Yep, I got one. Been doing a project on it for years. I've been trying to get it completed for years. The first few attempts at the paint job all peeled off because I hadn't primered and hadn't sanded properly, hadn't stuck it in a washing up bowl of warm water with detergenting agents to degrease it. So it was a right royal carry on. The other downside I found with hand rolls, especially the enamels, is the time it takes to dry between you can do another layer. This metallic, however, looks like it is drying fairly quickish. But that might just be the terrible lighting kicking in. And so Percy is near enough complete. Just seal this up before the gods of paint decide that I should have. Find a pre-wash in water first. And thinners usually gets it. The brush clean. But with these metallic paints, it is a bit of a ball ache. So what I'll do is I'll leave this to dry out now that it's got the bulk of the paint out. Then before I use it again for the metallics, rub the bristles, loosen them back up. I'm going to keep it shorter tonight instead of the hour and a half that I normally do, because I'm not happy with the chassis and it's going to take me too long to sort out, so I'll sort that out off screen. So what I'll do now is give you a little sneak peek of what's coming, or what it's going to look like. Let's see, where is it? Do I want to? Do I? Ooh. Go on then. Let's see. Let's give the face a little bit of a clean up. Not too much, you don't want that. There we go. We've got a happy little chappy with his original face. Add that to the currently going to rework chassis. And there, you can see the progress of what's going to be. So they're probably off camera before the next live stream, which will be the same time next Wednesday. I'll touch up the handball paint, rework the chassis and the running plate, get it to how it is now. And next week we'll paint the wheels, build the cylinders, unless I get too far ahead of myself during the week. Sort out the chassis frame, and I'm still waiting for the parts to make him chug along on his own. With a little bit of weight pushed down, the wheels will loosen up over time, but Percy does go quite happily along. Another quickie for updates is before anybody asks if I've got the O-gauge Ertl Thomas. Yes, I have. And Thomas will be getting the same treatment as Percy. But I'm actually waiting for a second one of these. See if I can find one cheap. Because if that's in better condition than this one, I'll scratch down this one. If this one's in better condition than the one that I find, I'll do that one. If that's not an option for either of them, I'll just build the body out of cardboard and adjust it so it's either all a flat running board, like some of the illustrations end up being, or extend the bunker so it actually does become an E2 type. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, or if you're following me on Twitter, let me know there. So down below you'll see the links for my Twitter, or at least my username. A friend me called Ko-fi. Basically it's the same as Patreon. You'll also find the Patreon link there, so if you feel you're able to. We have got a big project that I've mentioned a couple of times, that we're doing an 8-foot by 2-foot end scale sewed-all layout, and if we get enough people interested, we may give that away, or I might just use it to do the product reviews when Bachmann releases their new items for end scale. Again, we'll also be working in all the scales. You've already seen the TT Thomas. That'll be the end scale, the TT, 00, O, and some gauge 1 replicas on the way. So if you're all happy to help, it's people who watch this, who donate, that make this channel, is going to make this channel better. And we've got a lot more surprises coming up. Keep an eye out on the notifications, hit the bell icon. You'll be notified when I upload a new video or when I go live next. And like, subscribe, all that. Follow me on Twitter. So until next time, peep peep.